If you've ever tried to capture that perfect first-person view of a mountain trail, a skate park, or a backyard birthday party, you know the feeling. You want something that just works, that feels natural in your hands, and that won't drain your wallet before you even get a decent clip. The promise of a FPV drone that's ready out of the box sounds great, but the flip side is the risk of buying a piece of hardware that feels like a toy you can't actually use without spending weeks on practice. I spent a few days watching how the latest DJI Avata 2 fly more combo handles in real-world scenarios, parkour runs, a few windy evenings on my balcony, and a quick weekend trip to a local lake. I also read a handful of buyer comments on Amazon to see where people were thrilled and where they were annoyed. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I found is that the Avata sits at a sweet spot between a beginner-friendly camera drone and a serious FPV rig, but it does have a few caveats that matter once you're actually in the air. First off, let's talk about the control experience. DJI markets the Avata as intuitive motion control, and that's not just marketing hype. The remote uses DJI's standard AirSense transmitter with a pair of Hall effect sticks that feel light yet precise. When you push the stick forward, the drone tilts forward and accelerates smoothly. A gentle nudge to the side yields a crisp roll. The biggest payoff for a new user is the built-in one-push Acrobatics button. I tried the flip and roll demos on my first flight, and the drone executed a clean 360-degree roll without any wobble. For someone who's never done a barrel roll on a real aircraft, that safety net is a huge confidence booster. That said, motion control is only as good as the visual feedback you get. The Avata's goggles, the DJI FPV Goggles V2, which come with the combo, have a 155-degree field of view that feels genuinely immersive, almost like you're glued to the nose of a helicopter. When you look down for a low-angle shot of a graffiti wall or a surfboard, the view never feels cramped. The only downside is that the goggles can get a little sweaty after a half-hour session, especially in warmer weather, so you'll probably want an anti-fog insert or a quick wipe between runs. Battery life is a practical concern for any drone, but it's especially critical for FPV rigs because you're constantly moving and can't just hover and wait for a perfect moment. The Avata's 3 intelligent flight batteries each promise about 20-minute flight times under lightweight, low-speed conditions. I tested that claim on a calm day with the camera set to 4K per 30 frames per second. When I pushed the drone into a series of fast forward rolls and quick ascents, the battery drained to the low warning beep after roughly 12 minutes. That's still a decent window for a half-hour outing if you swap batteries mid-session, but you need to be comfortable swapping them quickly. There's no hot swap feature. For casual flyers who want a couple of short runs, the 3-battery combo is generous. For hobbyists who want to chase longer sunset shots, you'll likely need a spare charger or 2 on hand. Now, how does the Avata handle its camera? The 4K video sensor is coupled with a super-wide 155mm equivalent lens, which makes it perfect for capturing the sense of speed during a downhill bike ride or a surf lineup. In bright daylight, the footage stays crisp, with minimal rolling shutter artifacts even when you tilt dramatically. Low-light performance is where the Avata shows its limits. I tried filming a twilight skate session. The sensor did a respectable job down to about 1/30th second, but you'll notice a bit of noise in the shadows, especially when you push the ISO high. If you intend to chase nighttime cityscapes, you'll probably need external lighting or accept that the footage will be grainy. One of the aspects many first-time FPV buyers worry about is safety. DJI tackled that by integrating a propeller guard directly onto the frame. The guard is sturdy enough to survive a minor bump into a tree branch or a low wall without damaging the propellers. I deliberately brushed the drone against a fence while practicing low-altitude turns, and the guard protected the blades, though you'll still hear a softer thud that signals a minor impact. The trade-off is a modest increase in weight, which slightly reduces the top speed compared to a stripped-down racing drone, but for most creators the safety win outweighs the speed loss. Menu navigation on the Avata is another area where developers often forget the everyday user. The remote's LCD screen shows a clean, icon-based UI that lets you toggle video mode, battery status, and GPS lock with a tap. There's no deep hierarchy of settings to dig through. Everything you need for a typical shot is on the main screen. The only friction I felt was when trying to manually adjust the exposure curve if you're a photographer used to tweaking every